teaching. Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Min, homage to Master Sakya Kung, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Torji, homage to the rituals of the altar, homage to the main deity of Homa today, Mahachundi Buddha Mother, Sumo, Tanchen Katsu, Tuten Siddhi, Tuten Kama, all Dhamma masters, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma tutors, temple and center directors, and all disciples present here over the webcast. How do you do? Good afternoon. Now I would like to announce for next Sunday, April 28th at 3 p.m. There will be Yellow Jambala Homa fire offering ceremony. Yesterday, Saturday, we just had Yellow Jambala group practice. So, are you trying to match them? So, when there's a group practice and then the following week you're doing it here in Homa. So, we've talked about Yellow Jambala yesterday. Last night we practiced which one? Yellow Jambala. I'm muddle-headed. Recently, this is happening. Chundi Buddha Mother. We just had this too, not long ago. Only last week. Now I would like to ask a question. The Chundi Buddha Mother Thangka that's hang near in front of the Homa fire hearth. Where did it come from and who made it? It's made by the True Buddha Foundation. True Buddha Foundation? Who? I think it's drawn by Reverend Yen Jin's brother. Drawn by her brother? He paints many Buddhist images. Did he ever come attend our... He's in Taiwan? He attends Grandmaster ceremonies in Taiwan. I asked him to come and he said he's afraid to get on the plane. Very scared. I asked him to come to America many times. It's your younger brother? He paints Buddhist images? Yeah, he give a few hundred images to True Buddha Foundation. He was painting Chinese painting that is worth $80,000 each. Okay, please be seated. Because when I saw this, the Jundi Buddha Mother that's painted here, compared to all the Jundi Buddha Mother that I've ever seen in the past, this is the best. This one is the best. It's very spirited. It's very soulful. This is the best. Including her two attendants, Palando Dragon King and Nando Dragon King. And they're both also very spirited. And her eyes are also very alive and very magnificent and dignified. And all the Dharma implements that she holds in her hands are very powerful. It's very rare to see that there is such excellent tanka. That's why I wanted to ask where it came from. Why did you say it's True Buddha Foundation? It's because it's given by True Buddha Foundation. But I kind of... And you said True Buddha Foundation, so I asked who? Who True Buddha Foundation? They can paint? Painting birds, maybe. Such a beautiful tanka. Not an easy matter. So take a look later. Her eyes and the paintings. How long did it take him to paint that? Or how long has he been painting? His career is painting? Two to 3 decades of painting skill. If you don't paint that long, you wouldn't be able to paint this. I really like this tanka. Just now, the mudras that I form are different from all the mudras that I have formed before. And that's because the Jundi Buddha Mother from this painting that asked me or taught me to form the mudras. I I felt very touched seeing her. So later on, you can go out there and see this Chundi Buddha Mother. That in the painting there is a soul. The soul is in there. The spirit is there. That's why I really praise this tanka today. So Chundi Buddha Mother is truly great. She is Vairocana Buddha because she came from the palace of Vairocana Buddha. That she has the same power as a Buddha. So Vairocana Buddha has the 8 great bodhisattvas as his family or retinue. The 8 great bodhisattvas that's chanted in the Hiking Sutra. So she is the pure Vajra and also the most victorious Vajra. Therefore, you can have Chundi Buddha Mother as your yidam as well as your protector. I have seen many tankas. Every time we have tanka. But this tanka, how long does it take to paint this tanka? How come I've only just seen it now? This is quite incredible. When I saw Chundi Buddha Mother today, it's very rare that I see such an exquisite tanka. It's mentioned in the Mahaprajnaparamita Sutra that the 18 arms are the body free of karmic hindrances, speech free of karmic hindrances, mind free of karmic hindrances, without evil thoughts, immovable, tranquil mind, accomplishing everything properly without desires, tirelessly serving sentient beings, immovable right mind, unchanging perfect wisdom, complete liberation, total realization of every aspect of liberation, wisdom inherent in all conduct, wisdom inherent in all of speech, wisdom inherent in mind, unhindered wisdom of past lives, unhindered wisdom of future lives, and unhindered wisdom of present life. those are the 18 uncommon practices of Jundi, Buddha Mother. As mentioned in the Mahaprajna Paramita Sastra, a Grandmaster's voice is slightly hoarse because someone was well intended and give me turmeric. So I took them, and then my throat was affected and became hoarse, and I could not recover it. That's because of turmeric. And they kept insisting, this is a good thing, it's a very good thing, you have to take it. So I took it until my voice is hoarse. It's been a while now. I cannot recover my voice like the past. Now it's hoarse. And my throat too. I never had problem whatever I take in the past. And the disciple was trying to be kind and asked me to take this turmeric. What is turmeric? Can you take that every day? The fresh one is used in curry, but it is a kind of supplement, and that destroyed my throat and voice. Of course I stopped after. So that's, I think it's giving me hints to stop giving Dharma teaching, Dharma talk. To make it sound nice. Let me share a joke first. A patient went to see a psychiatrist. A doctor, give me some medicine. Every night I would dream of a group of mice playing football or soccer. So the doctor said, why don't you take this medicine and take it before bed? And the patient said, can I start tomorrow? And the doctor asked, why? And the patient was embarrassed and said, because the final is tonight. So he wants to watch the final. The brother asked the doctor, my younger brother always hallucinate that he thinks he's a hen, a mother hen. And the doctor said, oh, that's quite a severe problem. Why? Why did it take you so long to bring him in? And because we are all waiting for him to drop eggs. So they're all mentally ill. The husband saw the wife holding a fly bat. What are you doing? Can't you tell? How many flies have you hit? And the wife said, oh, 3 male ones and 2 female ones. How do you know if they're males or female? And the wife said, because the 3 were on the beer can, and the other 2 are on the phone. So the female one's on the phone and the male one's on the beer can. Now we'll do the Q&A. Question from Singapore, Lian Hoa Y Wang. Your disciple, Lian Hoa Y Wang, pay homage to the lineage root guru. I wish you health and well-being. Oh, why don't you wish me to recover my throat and voice? That would be great. To turn the great Dharma wheel to widely save sentient beings to stay in the world for a very long time without entering nirvana. Also wishing Simu health and radiant beauty to help Grandmaster to spread Buddha Dharma. I have a disciple. I would like to ask Grandmaster. If this question is selected, please answer the question being selected. Buddhism mentions there are 3 types of professions that should not be done. It's industries that involve killing, including weapons manufacturing, the sex industry, and selling alcohol or drugs. Due to my circumstances, I have joined the defense industry to manufacture weapons. And because it's my career, so in this career, how can I harmonize it with the Dharma? Should I repent often? Typically speaking, we cannot do anything that involves killing, that involves the sex industry or pornography, or selling drugs and alcohol. So industries that involve killing, that includes weapons, anything with weapons. Pornography or selling alcohol, killing, those are prohibited. If my answer would be this, generally speaking, for Chinese, overseas Chinese, there are many overseas Chinese that open restaurant business, and then it's unavoidable to kill. And they asked me what should they do, so I told them that every day you have to chant the deliverance mantra for those living beings that died for you, and God will deliver them. So he's joined the defense industry, which is manufacturing weapons. Then how should he harmonize it with Buddha Dharma? It's not your fault, because somehow you join that industry to manufacture weapons. I personally feel that you should perform Bardu deliverance frequently. And repentance, you have to cut it off, because after you repent, then you should not repeat the same transgression. So he asked that if he should perform repentance, But no, that would not be appropriate because repentance involves stopping what you have done. But if you stay, like say in the defense or you're in the military, then you should perform bardo deliverance. Like grandmasters performing the thousands Dharma vessels bardo deliverance. That's also one way. There is a practice procedure for the 1,000 Dharma vessels bardo deliverance. And you can do it every day too, because I also told those in the restaurant business to chant the deliverance mantras for all the beings that you kill, and you chant the deliverance mantras and dedicate the merit to them. It can alleviate some, like the noble family, which is the Nobel, for the Nobel Prize. They had lots of money because their family or ancestors were involved in the weapon manufacturing, and they kill. And the only way to compensate for it is to spend the money as the Nobel Prize and then give it to those people who benefit humanity and the world. That's also a way to make it up for it. So I think the best way, and since you said that you're in the defense industry and cannot change, then you should chant the deliverance mantra frequently every day. Or you perform the 1,000 Dharma vessels bardo deliverance every day. Practice it every day. Like there are many overseas Chinese in the West who are in the restaurant business, and I ask them to chant deliverance mantra and dedicate the merit to all the animals or the seafood that were killed for their business. Seashells. So to Lian Hua Yi Wang from Singapore, that's the answer to your question. So chant the deliverance mantra frequently. That would do. You have to do it every day. Chant the deliverance mantra or perform the bardo deliverance Dharma practice. This is a joke about Hui Jun. Is it when I pray? Is that because that my pronunciation was not accurate? Or this is Chinese words asking for money, but because the words sounded differently, so she became really big and round. I've told this joke yesterday. I think I've told these jokes before too. On the public transport, they're young lovers, and the girl said, "Oh, I have a headache," and then he kissed her head. So, do you still have the headache? No, no more. And then after a while, the girl said, "Oh, I have toothache," and then the boy kissed on her cheek and then asked, "So is it still hurting?" No. So that's the old lady sitting next to them and asked, "Hey, young man, can you cure my hemorrhage?" Now we'll talk about the Vimalakirti Sutra. At that time, Mahakashyapa sighed and said, I'll talk about Mahakashyapa. Mahakashyapa was one of the 10 great disciples of Sakyamuni Buddha that's referred to as first and foremost in ascetic cultivation. In this world, you will never ever find another Mahakashyapa. Okay, maybe not non-existent at all, but it's very difficult to find another one like Mahakashyapa. So Mahakashyapa in the Sangha of Sakyamuni Buddha has a very high and senior position. So this Venerable One was very senior. So why do we refer to him as first and foremost in ascetic cultivation? Because he kept or strictly abided by Sakyamuni Buddha's precepts to the T. He's a really great arhat, extremely remarkable arhat that's worthy of praise. So I'm talking about his life. So the first one in the Buddha Dharma of Sakyamuni Buddha is Mahakashyapa. When we went to India, we went to the place where it's called Siyeku, like a cave. So please don't look down upon Mahakashyapa. He has great transcendent or supernatural power. And he's never changed in his abidance to Sakyamuni Buddha's precepts. So he's not just first in ascetic cultivation, but also in abiding by the precepts. Nobody is better than he was. So of the 10 great disciples, the greatest one is Mahakashyapa. Moggallana is the first in transcendent power, but I think that Mahakashyapa is the first and foremost of all of them. So he's truly great. So I'm talking about his biography, his life, what he ate is different from others. He especially went to go to the poorest people to ask for alms. He never went to the rich people. He always went to the poorest people. How could they have anything to give to him? they ate very coarse and simple meals. So Mahakashyapa himself was skinnier than Lian Xu. So please stand up, Lian Xi, and show everyone. Lian Xi is already very skinny, but that's because of his digestive problem. He did not, it's not because he's abiding by the precepts, but Mahakashyapa did. That's why he was very, very thin. Why? Because he only ate once a day. He never took anything after noon. After noon, he would not take anything anymore. So he just ate once a day. And the alms that he got were all very crude, very humble. But he still found that to be tasty, so he had to visualize the food to become food before he take it. That's how Mahakashyapa ate. Or he did not eat at all at any other times, and he did not eat delicious food. He ate the most coarse of food. So he abided by Sakyamuni Buddha's precepts. So he had no desire for taste. We usually like delicious things, but he ate the most tasteless things, and then he visualized them to be poo before taking them. The clothes that he wore were from the rags and torn cloths from the garbage dump, and then saw them together or went to the cemeteries. And in ancient India, the corpses were not buried. So the clothes that were wrapped around the corpses, and Mahakashyapa took those cloths and then wore it. So we call that Bainai, which is clothes made from a patchwork of torn rags. That's how Mahakashyapa was. He wouldn't be very tidy and neat, but for us now, women would especially wear with a tailor so that they show their slim waist. Even for the Lama outfit, they do that too. And we use a nice cloth in one piece, but not for him. It was even worse than what the beggars wore. He used like torn rags and then patched together. That was the kind of clothes that Mahakashyapa wore. And Mahakashyapa only lived in 3 places. Where could you find him? First was under a big tree. Second, in the cemetery between 2 tombs. But how about when it rains? Then he would hide in the caves. He would slept in the caves. Like from the Vulture Peaks, there were caves, and the 10 great disciples each had their own caves. And I had visited the cave of Sariputra, of Ananda, and Pindola. I had visited them. And the cave of Sariputra is very close to the cave of Pindola. In the cave of Mahakashyapa, you could enter only by crawling into it. It was very tiny. It wasn't even as tall as a human's height. So he slept in caves, under the trees, or in between tombs. That's called Zhongjianqu. So those were the places that he would stay. And he was sleeping, sitting up, never lying down. So all his life, he would sleep sitting up, never lying down. That's his life. Mahakashyapa was first and foremost in keeping the precepts. About the food, clothing, residence, and transport. In the past, Sakyamuni Buddha prohibited women to become ordained. And then later on, his aunt took 500 maid attendants, palace maids, to go to Sakyamuni Buddha asking for ordination. And because Sakyamuni Buddha was raised by his aunt, because Queen Maya, after giving birth to Siddhartha Gautama, passed away. So he was raised by this aunt. So in order to repay the gratitude, although in the beginning he prohibited women to become ordained, but Ananda kept insisting and requested the Buddha to bestow ordination, and finally led them to become ordained. However, ordination precepts for nuns are twice as the ordination precepts for the monks. So say for the nuns 500 and the monks 250. So Mahakashyapa was the only one that's against women becoming ordained. But he could do nothing because Sakyamuni Buddha finally agreed to Ananda's request and let the women to become nuns. So what did Mahakashyapa do? When he saw a nun or bhikshuni walking toward him, that he would turn around and leave. First, he never looked at the woman. His eyes never look at women. For sure, definitely. That's his rule. If a woman is asking him, then he would look on the ground in front of him. And any question asked of him, he would just answer in 4 words and then turn around and left. He never spoke more than necessary. So if he couldn't avoid a woman asking, or a bhikshuni asking the elder question, like Upala Palavena. When she's asking Mahakashyapa question, that Mahakashyapa would look down on the ground. So when Mahakashyapa spoke to a woman, he would just say 4 sentences. He just said 4 sentences and no more. So ask 4 questions and give 4 answers and then turn around and left. So he's one who completely abided by the precepts. So think about it. So think about it. If there's a bhikshuni walking toward him, and he would just stand still and look down to the ground and wait until the bhikshuni passed by before he moved. His eyes definitely never look at women. And on his body, on top of the painai, which is the patch, torn robe, he had no money at all. He had no money at all. No bed either. He had nothing. He had nothing at all. No utility, nothing. When he got up in the morning, he used a willow branch to cleanse his teeth. So use the willow branch and then to clean the in between teeth and then rinse his mouth. There was no toothbrush at that time. Other people would soak in bath. Sakyamuni Buddha took his disciples to go to the hot spring, but he never attended. He never joined. He felt that he could not let his skin be seen by others. Sakyamuni Buddha had been in the hot spring. Have you heard of that before? He took his disciples to soak in the hot springs, but Mahakashyapa did not go. So he did not touch that. When it rained at his own place, to let the rain shower his body. So he used rain water. So he bathed when there was rain. That's how his spiritual cultivation was. That's his spiritual cultivation. Food, clothing, a residence, and transportation. And he gained transcendent power, great transcendent supernatural power. He could fly. When Sakyamuni Buddha was about to enter Parinirvana, he was living very far away. So he had to rush back. He did not dare to use his transcendent feet, which could make him fly very fast in the air, but instead he walked with his 2 legs. And Ananda was trying to lit the fire 3 times, and the fire could not get lit. And only Mahakashyapa could. because Sakyamuni Buddha believed that Mahakashyapa was the greatest and the best disciple who abided by the precepts strictly. And only Mahakashyapa could lit the fire, only when he arrived. So Sakyamuni Buddha was waiting for Mahakashyapa, his best disciple, for the fire to be lit. He never chit-chat or gossip, let alone the world news. Nowadays we worry or we care about what's going on with Palestine, Israel, Iraq, Iran, and surrounding countries, and we care for Ukraine and Russia and North and South Korea and Japan. But for him, none of those on his brain, nothing's on his brain. He's had attainment, he had no afflictions at all. He's attained the great arhatship. He has proven and attained the great arhatship and became a great arhat. So Sakyamuni Buddha's Mahakashyapa. Alongside Sakyamuni Buddha, one side is Ananda, the other side is Mahakashyapa. And you can see from his figure, the very, very thin one with bones, just a very bony one. That's Mahakashyapa. And the one that's brown and chubby is Ananda. And each has their own reasonings. Ananda said, those are poor people, how can you ask for alms from them? Then they would be more even poorer. And Ananda always went to the richest people for alms, for alms begging. So he ate the best kind of food. Like who? Like Hui Jin. He's not here. She's not here anyway, Hui Jin. And Mahakashyapa is even thinner than Lian Xu. It's very bony. You can see his bones. The shoulder bones and rib cages. More bones than our rib cage consort. That's a nickname. So that's Mahakashyapa. And he had his reason. I asked for alms from the poor people. It's not to give them burden, because after they give him alms, Mahakashyapa gives them blessings so that they can become richer in the future. So each has their own reasonings. So even Sakyamuni Buddha respected Mahakashyapa. At that time, Mahakashyapa could not accept the life of the Sangha anymore, consisting of monks and nuns, and Ananda was like that, always very, very lustful toward the nuns, and always trying to hook up with them, trying to chat with them. So because he wanted to abide by Sakyamuni Buddha's precepts, so he stayed, or he lived at a faraway slightly further place. So when he heard that Sakyamuni Buddha was about to enter Parinirvana, he rushed over to under the twin sala trees, where Ananda tried to lit the cremation fire, but could not, and the fire could only be lit after Mahakashyapa arrived. So Sakyamuni Buddha was waiting for him. At that time, Maudyagalana already passed, and Sariputra was very old already and returned to his hometown to live in seclusion. And there was only Ananda accompanying Sakyamuni Buddha to accept a banquet offering. Mahakashyapa would never accept an offering of banquets or meals because he ate a very modest food. This venerable one was truly admirable, truly remarkable. Just talking about Mahakashyapa, it's 5 already. At that time, Mahakashyapa also despised Manjushri Bodhisattva. And Manjushri Bodhisattva in the Mahayana Buddhism is the first and foremost in wisdom. Every year they have a 3-month retreat. Everyone joined in the 3-month retreat. And Mahakashyapa was the superintendent or the examiner, that he's checking on everybody that they are cultivating spiritually according to the rules. And he saw in Manjushri room there were so many visitors, and most of the visitors were princesses from the palace, the queens and the concubines came and went to Manjushri Bodhisattva's room. And he found that to be violating the precepts, so he reported to Sakyamuni Buddha so that the Buddha could punish Manjushri Bodhisattva. So at that time, he did not know much about Manjushri Bodhisattva. But those would have been okay for the inconceivable Bodhisattva, but not for the Arhats. The Arhats have to abide by the precepts upon hearing the Buddha Dharma, and then enter the right position to cut off afflictions and to attain Arhatship. So he could not accept Manjushri Bodhisattva to be enjoying themselves and laughing together with all those women from the palace. So he reported to Sakyamuni Buddha and requested the Buddha to kick out Manjushri Bodhisattva from the Sangha because he breached the precepts. So Sakyamuni Buddha let him see. Why don't you use your divine seeing to the sky, to all the different Buddha countries, Buddha lands or Buddha verses, and he saw Manjushri Bodhisattva in each of the Buddha verses. So Sakyamuni Buddha asked Mahakashyapa, so which Manjushri Bodhisattva would you like me to expel because Manjushri Bodhisattva was in all the Buddha verses. So Mahakashyap. So Sakyamuni Buddha finally said that he is an inconceivable bodhisattva. I mean, bodhisattva of inconceivable liberation. So he's one who has truly attained the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. That's why in all the Buddha verses there are Manjushri Bodhisattva. Trillions, millions, trillions of them. And from then on, Mahakashyapa generate respect to Manjushri Bodhisattva. Otherwise, he disliked Manjushri before that, because he was first and foremost in ascetic cultivation and attained arhatship. So he was a great arhat. Lastly, after Sakyamuni Buddha entered the Parinirvana, he knew in the future Maitreya Bodhisattva will attain Buddhahood in the Saha world. So he left the Sangha and went to Jeju mountain in Yunnan province, which is Chicken Feet Mountain. So the mountain is like a chicken feet. And Mahakashyapa went there and lived in seclusion there. So he must have affinity with that. That's in China, Yunnan province in China, Chicken Feet Mountain. And he went into retreat in a cave in that mountain, waiting for Maitreya Bodhisattva to descend upon the Saha world during the 3 meetings of the dragon flowers, that Mahakashyapa would come out again and deliver sentient beings. So that's his affinity. So he had these causes and conditions to attain Buddhahood following Maitreya Bodhisattva in the future. So he needed to follow or to be with Maitreya Bodhisattva in order to become a Buddha. So he's now in retreat in the Chicken Feet Mountain in Yunnan. So in that mountain there are many temples. One of the temples is called Kashyapa Temple, and a few others. I wrote it in my book about the Shiyun, Venerable Elder, A Flower for You. I wrote about this Chicken Feet Mountain, and the Venerable Elder Shiyun also built a few temples there. And in one of them, Mahakashyapa is in retreat there, in Yunnan province of China. So, do you say, is Mahakashyapa great, remarkable? Don't think about alcohol and cigarettes. The ancient Indians, their livelihood was not like now, modernized. The way they smoke is they take a leaf and use paper, and then they smoke that. And they could also ferment and create wine, because certain things, if you just leave it there, it would ferment and become alcohol. But some of the ordained members also smoke. So Japanese monks have the habits of smoking. Some stop smoking and drinking, but Japanese love to smoke and drink. or Japanese monks also smoke and drink. So in ancient India, they used paper and leaves and rolled it and then burned it and smoked it. But Mahakashyapa never smoke or drink, let alone to kill, to steal, to you have to abide by the 5 basic precepts: not to kill, not to steal, not to lie, not to commit sexual misconduct, and not to drink alcohol or intoxicant. So it's also wrong to wear all these things on me. However, but the Bodhisattvas all wear pearl necklaces and all the beautiful crowns and all the adornments, but it's okay. Those are all just things outside the body, and they're all given by the disciples. If you don't wear them, this is the 6.6 carat yellow diamond, or 6.8. Was offered by Chenny Chen from Brunei. She's right here. Yeah, thank you for your offering. Her origin is also from Saraswati. So her origin is not ordinary. And this bracelet was also given recently. And my sister Jiazhen now the white, the group. It's very hard to take off. This is once she put it on me. The old monster in white robe and before in black robe. I've talked about the watch before. And then this diamond ring was given by Lei Fengyi, which is the older brother of Lei Fengpei, or Master Lian Sui. Now he's the master. And this was given by someone who's very rich, Piaget. Yeah. They're really multi-billionaires, and that's no big deal. At least 100 times more than that. So this was given by her. It's all given by her. So everything on me was given by others. The llama outfit, the dragon robes, the underwear. Morgan. Is Morgan here? No, Morgan. Morgan's coming. Did you give me the underpants? And my underwear too, right? $12 each. If I return everything that people give to me, then I would be naked. Can I speak? Oh, sure. The other day you took off your upper shirt. So you're saying that wearing clothes is actually wrong my body? Then I should be naked? This hat was also given by Dharma Sister Jatsen. It has this sign. I heard it's a brand name. That this hat costs $600. And the bag is from Canada. The person who make the Lama outfit give this to me. Dragon robes, all given by disciples. And my body was given by my parents. Actually, I have nothing, really. They're all given to me. Cars. It's given by Haniva, the translator. My cars were all given by Haniva. Although I say that the houses I bought myself, but actually using the disciples offered to me, so it's the same as they was given by all my disciples. So as for myself, I really have nothing. That's how human life is. You came with nothing, and in the future you would go with nothing too. And what is left is just Buddha Dharma, nothing else. And Buddha Dharma too is not mine. It's given by Sakyamuni Buddha. Om Mani Padme Hum.